Hello, this is a reading for career and measuring the energetic resonance, vibrational resonance of your relationship to your career. And I'm going to be pulling for 3 octaves, the lower vibrations, what's tying you to karmic timelines, what's transforming within your career, or however you financially support yourself, a job, and the highest vibrational octave of your current situation. So we're actually looking at here the interview, and I do masculine and feminine energies in terms of like action oriented. So for this type of reading, the masculine would be considered action to take for karmic. But so what it's saying is, because it's karmic, it's saying don't go trying to get an interview right now. See, it's kind of saying that if you go for an interview, that you'll probably get it, honestly, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the right job for you, right? Let's definitely get a clarifier on that one, but somebody's got an interview who's reading this, which may be why you... so let's look at the feminine. Let's look at how you're actually feeling about this job. Is it something you want? Is it something you love to do? Because that may be the case. You may actually want to do this, and it may... revealing hidden love. So, turns out that this is something that you want. And it's if you're not going for an interview, it may feel like you're being interviewed in the karmic octaves. And it might be difficult to reveal yourself. That revealing may be what is the feeling of being put on the spot and looked at and surveyed and people deciding over if you're good enough or not. That's that interview vibe in the lower karmic octave. So what's transforming about this? What is going to help to transform you? Okay, so we have the castle for the masculine, and it says castles are built to keep invaders out. Aha. So yes, part of this is revealing yourself in whatever you're doing. Perhaps you're getting to know people at your current workspace, and it's causing you to feel like putting walls up because you feel perhaps judged if you don't want to act in such a way of like, revealing how much you love the job, or really like putting your all into it, or just being less guarded at work and in your career in general, putting yourself out there more. These walls are coming down right now. And it might feel like you're being surveyed and interviewed, but that's okay, because this revealing process, it's going to have some emotions come out, right? But that's okay. That's part of what's bringing down the wall. So let's look into the transformational for the feminine, because this is what's going on in your inner world in regards to this career, money, financial situation. So let's really, really look at that, okay? So it's saying this one, the mirror. Okay, so obviously here, because you feel that you're being interviewed, it's because you're interviewing yourself. Really, it's like you're going over and over in your head, like what you plan to say to other people, I think, and how you plan to say it, and it's almost like you're crafting this version of yourself, hoping it will cause a result, for you to do that. But I think what it's really doing is it's just mirroring you, and people will be that way that you are. If you're trying to handcraft an ego identity that people will, accept, then you'll just end up drawing in interactions where people are doing that with you, and you will be able to tell, because, if you're doing something, usually it means you'll be able to tell. It's like you're preparing to answer these interview questions or something, is the energy of this. But it's transforming, so it's saying like, yeah, you're getting ready to reveal your true self, right? Not this perhaps false self with a mask. This is all about like you want the world to mirror who you truly are inside. So you have to show your authentic self in this line of work that you're doing. You can't hide behind a mask. Even though it seems like you feel like you have to. Okay, so what is the highest potential outcome, or vibration, I should say, because vibrations aren't necessarily outcomes for this career of yours that you are especially passionate about and especially in love with. So this card kind of flipped, uncovering inspiration for the masculine. So it's kind of like saying, act on and communicate with the vibrations which inspire you. This just shows a man kind of reaching out. Sorry, I got cut off there. So yeah, in this picture, it shows the masculine kind of reaching out and being vulnerable, making friends. So if this isn't a, like, you know, life's passion for you, it may just be a job that you really, really like. Make friends, you know, be willing to reach out, make friends, invite people to things, say yes when people invite you, but do it only when it feels good, right? Because this isn't about forcing yourself to be inauthentic. It's about following your authenticity and your joy. And sometimes that looks like doing what's scary, like you really want to do something, but it's scary. Like, you see how she's just kind of deadpan here and she's kind of looking on? Well, it's about uncovering inspiration. So, like, feel into situations. Do you really feel inspired to go with that friend? Do you really feel inspired to be a part of an outing with people or something at your job? Or if it's not a job and if it's your career, do you feel shy about directly approaching people with, oh, I don't know, you want to share your website with them, or you want them to watch you know, something that you've made? Like, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're making videos or you're writing articles or something like that. Also, these two cards dropped on the table when I was very much flustered from the video just kind of stopping. Okay. But it says the island and the crown. So yeah, I think that, like, what really wanted to be seen here is, like, as long as you isolate, then, you know, you're the king of your own island, is like the theme of this whole reason. As long as you isolate, you're the king. As long as you isolate, or queen, you know. But the crown and the island are really about, like, opening up to divine sovereignty. Because ultimately, as a temporal consciousness, you are an island surrounded by the ocean, but the ocean is also you. So that's one interesting take on these two cards as well, is it's about, like, the fact that you are knowingly connected to everyone already, so that it's not like you necessarily have to try to connect with people, but you more so have to get over your fear of connecting with people and showing your true self and uncovering your inspiration and dropping your walls and sharing what you really love and just being a passionate human being. Or maybe getting into what they're saying, you know, really receiving people because they are you as well. And yeah, I wouldn't receive people on a fake basis of wanting to like, don't listen to people just because you want to be listened to, right? Or whatever it is. Like, if it's not real, if it's not authentic, it's not a true reciprocation. So these type of things can't be mechanical. So we have one more card for the feminine, and I'm shaking. I'm honestly shaking as I'm about to draw this card, and there's just a lot of fear behind this. Like, but that fear, and I'm saying, what I'm hearing from my guides is that fear, wherever you feel afraid right now, is where you should absolutely go and what you should absolutely try, okay? Because, okay, the shadow, that is your greatest friend right now. Actually, yeah, that deep fear that you feel of, see how these two are wearing the same outfit, where they both have this kind of big hat on and this big cloak, and he takes it off and he's just kind of like, ha, look, it's a costume. And so it's saying, like, wherever you feel like you are bad and you are not, like, acceptable, whatever part of your journey is seen as lesser than, not cool enough, you know, just under the mark of what is good enough, all of those things, and everything you're afraid to show people is actually what is the most amazing, endearing thing about you, and you don't even know it yet, and it's because you haven't experimented with showing that about yourself. So yeah, like, the highest vibration right now for your career is in whatever scares you the most about yourself. Dead ass. Oh my goodness. So let's get an advice card for how to transmute that fear, how to move beyond it, and how to like really drop these walls. Okay. Ooh, we got the fish. The fish, girl. So obviously, it's a timeless reading, but this is Piscean energy, and we just came out of Mercury retrograde in Pisces when this reading is being filmed. And so it could be just Piscean energy in general. I would look at a chart where what's in Pisces right now for anybody watching this reading later on down the line. But overall, like, what is this, the psychic energy, right? So that, yeah, it's the psychic energy. It's sensing situations, sensing if it's, do you feel like you're being interviewed? That's one thing. Yes. Okay. So that's a thing where you might feel tempted to try to please people. But if you feel like somebody is putting themselves above you and trying, like, kind of like interviewing you in a situation where you're kind of like trying to make friends and you're feeling uneasy about it, like, oh, this person's like really putting themselves above me, that's a reflection of your inner wounded ego. And that is, you might be really scared to walk away from that person. You might be scared to say no to that person. You might be scared to not feed into that, but this fish is kind of saying go with the flow. And if you feel that energy come up against you, don't try to feed into it by people pleasing and giving energy into things like that feel like interviews in your life. Put energy into things that feel like, yeah, let's reach out. Let's have a good time. Let's rumble. Let's party. Well, maybe not party, but you know what I mean. Dance, sing together. Oh, like bond over something mutual. Just breaking down barriers. Really, like, don't go for what's guarded and what feels like a big palace kind of like towering over you, where you need to like, have a special passcode to get in, and we got our cool kids club over here. We're doing things, and you're not invited. If it's like that, forget it. You don't want to be there, because this fish is not freaking having it. He's just out. He's out. Because he knows that the ocean is vast, and there are so many. They say there's like other fish in the sea for a reason. Okay? There's other fish in the sea because there's literally billions and millions and billions of stars in a galaxy. Carl Sagan would say he's actually Sagittarius, but he's got no Piscean energy. So the eggs. So there is a message here about fish and eggs. Salmon swimming upstream, right? It may feel very challenging. Going with the flow doesn't mean there will be no challenges. Going with the flow means following what feels like your highest good. And fish are always out for their highest good. Are they going towards things that they feel like they need to prove something to do it? It's not about proving something. Like, it's never about proving something. It's about an undercurrent that's lifting them. So when they're swimming upstream, they're not doing it to just be the coolest fish. I mean, yeah, ultimately, there is a drive in us which is instinctual, which we need to not ignore, that if we feel like we're in competition with other people, it could possibly just be that we're trying to pass on our genes, carnally, from a carnal place. But, so we can forgive that part of ourselves, number one. And number two, these fish go against seemingly difficult odds to go and lay their eggs upstream, but truly what it is they're riding an undercurrent that kind of shoots them up, and then they go back down and shoots them up again. So, obviously they've been doing this since the beginning of fishhood, and that's whatever you've been doing. Whatever you're the best at, which you really generally feel like other people see it as difficult, right? Other people see it as difficult, and they're like, oh my God, how can you do that? A seed here that I want to mention is there might be a fear of other people's jealousy here with a shadow, right? to truly like go and birth your birth your creations, birth your children. And I guess maybe there's like even a sense of like bringing your children more into your world, I guess. Work that allows for you to be a better parent if you're working and you have kids. Something that allows for you to bring your children into your world. Like, that's just something that I was like guided to say just now for somebody who's watching this. Might not be for everybody, but it's also bringing your inner child. For those of you who don't have children, who can bring your innocence to your work. So you don't have to be all hard-faced, like stone-faced, I'm the cool guy, I'm the one you want to be the manager, It's like, if you do work in a situation where that's your situation, don't see those people as being above you, okay? Because they're not. Everybody's just here to try to support themselves, and that's all it is. It's not an ego game of like whose seed is gonna make it, right? Because that's like all primal karmic bullshit from the third dimensional plane. So, your talent, if you're like stumbling upon this reading, is to be able to see beyond that with the psychic Pisces energy, which you've been doing your whole life, literally swimming upstream, but it's because you run on an undercurrent that nobody knows about. So, you're going to be able to do it. So just because somebody else is looking at you and going, wow, that looks hard, I don't think I could do that, that does not mean that it's impossible. What you're doing is not impossible. You know it. And all you need is a little encouragement. And that's what you came here to get, is this encouragement, because it's saying once you do that thing that you're afraid to do, something's going to be born out of it. You're going to be able to kind of like lay your eggs. And I think it could also be that eggs are being laid right now. So things haven't totally come to fruition yet. I will get one more card because I'm guided to. And I'm going to ask the question, what's being born of this egg right now? What's being born of this egg right now? What's being born? I'm already hearing that it looks like a difficult situation on the outside, but that's just the shell of the egg, right? What's being born of this egg right now? Rainbows? Oh my god, that's too many. Well, I'm just going to go with the top card. The rainbow is a universal symbol for promise, hope, and redemption. So what I'm hearing too about this is that you are attempting to make up for the rest of your life. That pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for you almost feels like you're making up for a past of not being good enough. So that's a really, really important thing to acknowledge, and I'm glad that I pulled this card, is because you're not doing what you're doing right now to be good enough. You're doing what you're doing right now because you are good at it, and the reason why you're good at it is because you've been swimming upstream your whole life. So you don't need to, bash and bully yourself for all that upstream swimming that you did. Really, it was serving you, because, like, look at this stream that she's swimming up on. And this is the light language, Lightworker stream. That's the rainbow serpent. So if you've been riding the rainbow serpent, having a difficult starseed life, and now you're attempting to pull your shit together to show them all, don't do that. It's not about that. It's just about, like, walking the path the way that you laid it for yourself, because that's again, this divine I am presence. You laid it for yourself. And so now is the time for you to face your fear of coming out and having this intimate connection with people whom you work with. Thanks so much for watching this reading. If you want me to look deeper into your career situation, my name is Vivian Moon. This is New Timeline Divination. You can find me on Instagram. And all the links and everything you need to get a personal reading with me are in the description of my profile. I do octave readings like this where you can get a personal video with me. So it's like a pre-recorded video reading. Just go to my website and you can order one. So yeah, and then I also have longer live readings where you can talk to me face-to-face on Zoom. So yeah, again, thanks very much for watching this reading, and I absolutely loved doing it for you again. This is the Dream Deck, and I do so appreciate all of your likes and for you to subscribe and click the notification bell as I am living out my rainbow path right now. And so anything that you can do to support is much appreciated. And also, I have donations. If you like my readings, go ahead and make a donation. Blessed be everyone on your journeys on your career path.